Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Latics Football Phone-In. We've just been talking for the last 2 minutes to each other, thinking we were live, and we weren't live because we didn't press go live. So
there we go.
So that was
yeah. Good job we didn't say anything about that thing that we were going to talk about.
Good job we didn't mention it, because then no one would have known. It would have just, I don't know what they were looking at. They might have been looking at us talking to each other. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, we're here now. So thanks for joining us. If you've joined us, we've got a guest from Mansfield. Today to talk to us about the game on Saturday and give us a little bit of a briefing on how their season's been going. And before that, we're going to talk about obviously the fact that we've just been beaten 5 times on the bounce, and that we got better team than we are.
Yeah, awful. That's all I can say about the game against Sutton. It was lackluster, woeful, rubbish, garbage. No passion, no fight, no anything really. It was just so disappointing. You know, first 10 minutes we looked okay. Hunt looked really good on the ball, but their heads went down from that unlucky goal that they conceded. But it was like watching a pub team, weren't it?
It was so obvious when that first goal went in, wasn't it? The heads went.
But I think the fans' heads went as well.
Everyone. It totally deflated the atmosphere in the stadium, didn't it? Very, very disappointing, because I think probably because we knew from that point that was it. There's just that lack of belief, isn't there? There's the lack of goals. Is it Will Sutton scored our last couple of goals, hasn't he?
Yeah,
centre half.
Two in his last 3 games. You know, he's got a decent Hallam Hope sort of record there.
Should we get Robin in?
Let's get him in.
Let's get Robin in. He's joining us from France.
Hello. Hi, Robin.
Bonjour or bon nuit, whatever it is.
Bonnet de douche.
How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Can't hear you, mate.
Got no sound. Are you
on
mute?
Before I've not done anything. Can you hear me now?
I can hear my tummy grumbling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that on the stream.
We just had you, Robin. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you
hear? We've not got you on mute this side, mate.
Right.
So I'm quite sure the story is there. Apparently we had some technical issues last week with the sound as well, because I think we had it going through the wrong microphone. So hopefully it's a bit better this week. And it's saying we can hear him. Mark Mills is saying that you can hear him, but we can't, which is a bit odd.
You can't hear me at all, no?
We can hear him. Right, interesting.
Yeah, that's weird. Let's just bring Alan in, see if we can hear Alan.
Yes.
Hello. Alan? You right, guys?
No, we can't hear Alan either. That's weird.
Oh, that's strange, because I can hear the other guy from France.
I can hear you as well, Alan. I didn't realise you. I didn't realise you were a Mansfield
there we go.
fan.
Sorry,
guys.
Sorry.
Hello and welcome to Amateur Hour. Football Phone-In.
I do the Twitter and social media, just to be clear, and I rock the retro, but Matt does all the sound. So just pass the book there, mate. So sorry about that.
Oh no,
that's a big book.
Well, you know, there we go. Oh, sorry about that.
Anyway, gets Alan in earlier, doesn't it, Alan? Welcome to Latics. Listen, Alan, this is indicative of Latics. Nothing works properly. It's shoddy. You know, we're scraping by. We're hanging on by the skin of our teeth in every single way possible. So I guess it shouldn't be much of a surprise to you, really.
Your passion's there, guys. That's what I like. Your passion's there.
It is. I mean, we've look. We'll talk about Robin about the game of Sutton, but you make a good point there, Alan, which I want to expand on, which is that the passion, the fans, especially those we've got a section of supporters called the Atleticos. I don't know if you're going to the game, Alan, on Saturday. Are you coming up?
No, I can't get on Saturday, but I'll be listening. I'll be watching on iFollow.
Right. Well, there's a group of young fans behind the goal called the Atleticos, and they've been growing in number over time. And they make it. They got the flags and they're jumping up and down, and despite the fact we were losing 3-1 at home to Sutton on Tuesday night, they kept going.
Took the shoes off, didn't they? Took the shoes off.
Yeah, one of the best chants of the night was "Stand up if you've lost your shoe," wasn't it? Someone lost their shoe, and they got their shoe back as well, which was pretty good. But it was nice to see that kind of like youthful exuberance and energy. Because I'd given up. I'd gone meme. I was just like pacing around, talking to people, mourning. Got my head down. Stayed till final whistle. A lot of people left early, but Robin, did you watch it? Because obviously you're over in France and you can watch it on iFollow. What did you make of it?
My experience was a bit different from yours, because I think Dave was saying that the first 10 minutes was all right. And the funny thing is with the iFollow, you don't really get the sounds from the stadium, so you're just watching the match, and it just seemed. I wasn't quite as disappointed as Dave was with it all. I thought it was an okay performance, really, and I thought there was some signs. It's just that there's no luck at all. I mean, obviously, you see that first goal going in. Any other game, it's going out, but it will ping straight off him and in off the defender. But I thought there were signs. I really genuinely did. I know I'm a bit optimistic about it all, but I thought there were signs that we could do something. And if we had just a bit of luck, we'd have got something better out of that game. But it's I didn't even realise it had been 5 games we've lost in a row. That's horrifying.
Yeah, it's the worst run of the season, isn't it?
It's our worst run for about 30 years, isn't it? For 40 years or something.
1969, I think it was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, what about that run we went under? Was it Dickoff? Was it 10 games without a win? Was it?
Yeah, it was 10.
Yeah.
Well, it must be getting that close with Shez now, isn't it? It must be about 10 games since we've won.
No, it's about 5. No. So we had Colchester, Newport,
Bradford.
2 draws, weren't they?
Yes, so we had. Let me think now. Rochdale
Bradford
draw.
The last game we won.
Bradford the last game we won. Then we went away. Then we had then we had Newport away. Then we went to Colchester away. Yeah, so it's getting on about 8 games now. Yeah, it's getting a bit close. Yeah,
it's definitely not a good time to be on a bad run. Anyway, that's for sure. I mean, the thing that we love about football, and the thing about having a debate about football, is the way that people see the games differently. Because I thought we were absolutely bloody awful, to be honest, Robin. And like, the defending was abysmal, especially for those first 2 goals. And for me, there's just that. I mean, Shez said it in his interview, didn't he, about simple mistakes and not doing things right, not getting organised at set pieces, not falling into your shape quick enough, not being switched on. And then the other thing which really, really gets my goat, because I was livid after that game, and I woke up on Wednesday morning with that nervous, angry energy in my stomach from the performance, because I didn't think that there was enough battle and enough fight from the team. I thought that they were, again, we've not got the characters. Like Shez was saying, we've said this numerous times over the season, who's out there like firing, getting in people's ear and giving them a rollicking for not being in the right position and not tracking back and not following the ball or whatever it is. And for me, that's the worrying sign. I know that people are trying to stay positive and stuff. And after a special mention to Paddy, who says that we're going to emphatically stay up this season on Twitter, despite the fact that we're emphatically been in the bottom 2 all season. And there's absolutely nothing it won't be emphatic, Paddy. If we stay up, it'll probably be the last game of the season, and it'll be because Steve Evans doesn't get a tune out of Stevenage, which obviously we're hoping for. So it's going to be really, really tight. We don't have the characters. We don't have Luamba coming back. Hopefully you're going to feel the heat of Junior Luamba, Alan, on Saturday. He's going to come back from injury. He's only a young lad, but he's only played a few games this season, but he's done really well when he's come on. He's big, he's strong, he leads the line well. He's only 18, but for a young lad, it's a lot of responsibility. And we do have good, talented players that can play off a big centre forward, but we've not had a big centre forward all season, Alan. So every time the ball goes up to our forwards, it just ends up coming back. It never sticks. It's an integral part of football at this level, isn't it? So
it is, yeah.
Yeah. So if I were you, I'd fancy your chances on Saturday. But you said that they're away. Someone said their away form's not too good. Is that right, Alan?
No, it's not the best, to be fair. We won on Tuesday night against Rochdale. We got an 86-minute winner with Jordan Barry. Thank goodness. But
we'll all appreciate that in these parts, Alan. A winner against Rochdale. We're all right with that.
Jordan Barry, we'll like you till about 8 o'clock, and that's it then.
I don't mind.
Yeah, we really want to play a team that scores in the last few minutes, because that's not been affecting us recently, has it?
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we give away 95 plus minute goals against Carlisle and Swindon. So
I think you'll find that, you have to excuse my voice a bit. I think you'll find that does happen, though. You know, when you're down there and struggling at the basement end of the table, we were the same, because we were bottom in October. We hadn't won a game in 14 games. We'd had a lot of injuries and a lot of suspensions, and then something just, we started getting the players back, and genuinely things start happening for you. When you're not getting the rub of the green, when you're down at the bottom, when you start progressing up the league, you seem to get that rub of the green, and that's just, it's just football. Whether it's a last minute winner off your backside or, somebody scored an own goal for you, that's just seemed to how it goes. And it sounds as though it's same with Oldham at the moment. You're not getting the rub of the green.
Yeah. Did you go to the Oldham Mansfield game at your place, the 0-0?
Yes.
I did. It was one of the worst games of football I have ever seen in my life. It was the worst. It was watching. It was like, do you know when you see like under eights kicking and missing a goal, and they just run and then just run the pit ball off the pitch? That's what it was like. It was absolutely shocking. But I think the injury to one of your players knocked a bit of the steam out of the game, because did he break his neck or something like that, or his spine? He did something.
I'm just trying to think now. Was it? It weren't Perchy, was it?
He went down for about 11 minutes. It was quite a serious one, but Keith Cale said at the time it was a bit of a factor in the game. But it was a woeful display by both teams. They were just two poor teams, just really underconfident, really. So yeah, I hope we can get a point against you on Saturday, if I'm honest with you now.
When we play at Oldham, I can remember I don't know whether it was the last game or the game before, when it was a televised game.
Yeah, the Easter game,
I'm not
wasn't
sure.
it?
Did we lose 3-2? And it was something that was really close. I don't know whether Danny Rose either had a shot or missed a penalty or something, but I think we just ended up short that day. And
that's
that
right.
Reminds me of Oldham, because we've always struggled, to be fair, against your lads at Boundary Park.
Well, you used to have Curl as manager back in the day, didn't you? That was one of his first managerial jobs. So there is a few connections there. Craig Davis as well. He left us to go to you, didn't he? When you released him.
We never saw the best of Craig Davis. He kept getting injured. So we saw one unbelievable worldie, and that was about it.
So, Alan, you've
saw the best of him.
I contacted the Mansfield Matters podcast and asked if there was anyone to come on the show, and it was you that was put forward. Yeah, so are you the stadium announcer down at Mansfield, and a long time fan of the club? Yeah.
Because I was smiling when you said, "Well, it don't matter what they're saying because you can't hear it." we have the same sort of problem sometimes. When it's empty, you can hear everything clear as a bell. But when this starts getting bums on seats, you do struggle in certain parts of the ground. Yeah. You do struggle with the PA system that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's difficult down the bottom end, isn't it? And I saw something on Twitter. Someone posted a table of which team in the division had finished the highest. So it ranked us all from our highest ever league position. We're top of that, because I think it's 1914, was it? We finished second in Division 1.
Right.
So that's our highest ever league position. Yeah. And now we are obviously just about to drop out of the Football League. What does our poll say about the?
We did a little poll. Yeah, we've 95 votes. 24% think we're staying up. 76% think we're going down. I haven't voted yet. I'm going to vote after the Mansfield. Well, I'm going to vote after this show. I'm still undecided.
I voted, and I voted going down, because I'll tell you why. There's the old saying in football, isn't there, that managers love to roll out, especially when they're winning. You're only as good as your last game. Well, if we're only as good as our last game, then we're going down. So on that logic, and the fact that we are in the bottom two and we've been really struggling.
I spoke to Shez after the game, and it was safe to say he was absolutely fuming, and he was, he was talking about the second ball, going to the corners, not tracking back for a corner, because he said 9 times out of 10 from a corner or a cross, it's going to come back out. It's a bonus if the ball goes in.
Yeah.
So he said, there's nobody on the pitch. Harrison McGee is a massive loss. He said, because he was a mourner, shouter, getting on everyone's back. But Shez says, I wanted to be on that pitch. He said, because if I'd have come back in after that game, people would have wanted to knock me out. He said, because I would have been on the cases. But he said, I've got no talkers. And it was really sad. And I asked him a few more questions about how the players' mentality was, and he wasn't too happy with my questions, and I got the Sheridan glare, and then sort of backed away, because it's always difficult when you speak to a manager when they've just been pumped at home 3-1 with no desire. He knows more than anyone how bad they were. Yeah. And trying to echo that to him, saying, I wanted to say something really passionate, but I had to sort of hold back a little bit, because I was so annoyed with regards to the performance. But he said the mentality, he said he's looking forward to Pagiani coming back. Missalou's a big miss because of the international duty, which, with all these people on Twitter and Facebook saying that he left of his own accord, Oldham Athletic tried to reject Missalou going to the Congo, but FIFA insisted that he had to go, because you can only turn down an international call-up if you retire. So just to put all those haters for Missalou out there, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So before he gets bombarded with a load of fine him 2 weeks' wages, he shouldn't be playing for the club anymore, he's not got any passion or fight. Just wait till the full story comes out before we start criticising players in this position, because they don't need it, and we need to support them, And he was a big miss, but I thought Hunt did step in his place well, and I'd like to see them two play together rather than Whelan and Missalou.
Well, you won't see it on Saturday.
Well, no, but I'd like to see it.
You would?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah,
love it.
Hopefully, whoever plays in midfield is gonna do better than they did on Tuesday night against Sutton. So you were telling us there, Alan, that earlier on in the season you were down there, and we all noticed that you were down there. And was it very much just a case of? Was it very much injuries and that? You've had a decent squad, and now it's all coming into place? Is it a case of character, or why is it that you've gone on this run?
In my opinion, there's a lot of the fans. Well, I would say 99% of the fans kept with Nigel Clough. Nobody said, "Oh, we want his head." We want him out because we're not playing well. Because everybody could see that we'd got injuries. We'd got the Quinney, one of our best players, Stephen Quinn, had got a 3-match ban. And they turned it into a 6-match ban for whatever reason, So that was him out for 6 weeks. And a player of that quality, you do miss that. We'd got another couple of players out on suspensions. We'd had an awful lot of injuries. And we were starting with a few young lads, a few scholars and whatever. But they did us proud. We carried on. And then when we started getting 1 or 2 back, Quinn came back in and things started to look up a bit. And then, it's like sometimes you can go on a losing run and you can't get off it, no matter what you do, however you play. And then sometimes you can get on a winning run and the same applies. And you can't seem to lose. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying we were playing bad. We weren't, because we were playing good stuff. And then the last 3 matches, we won on Tuesday, and we lost the 2 before then. We lost away at Tranmere 3-2, where we should really have had a draw. And then we lost at Port Vale because we just didn't turn up that night. We didn't really play that well. But on Tuesday, the 40, they're a good side. They were, to be fair. Rochdale, they weren't bad at all, because that was their first league defeat in 11 games at home. So, it's not bad.
So what should we have to worry about? I mean, apart from the fact that we're not very good, from your point of view, what are the main things? Who are the main threats, and who's on form, and how do your team like to play under Cloughie?
Well, he's got different formations, Dave, to be honest. You can't really say until he actually gets them on the pitch who's playing where, because we've got quite a few players that can play in different positions, and we've proved that in the past few weeks. But I mean, you've got, if Hawkins plays up front, he's a decent lad, and we've got Reece Oates.
Yeah,
and he is like lightning. He's playing really well. He got 10 goals this season. But the good thing about Mansfield, we haven't got an out and out, 15, 20 goal a season man. It's coming from everywhere in the team, the defenders, the midfielders, and the strikers. So, they all chipping in with the goals. We haven't got a 20 goal a season man at the moment.
A bit of a nice signing in January was Matty Longstaff from Aberdeen. That was a bit of a surprise to everyone. How's he fared for you?
Oh, he's done really well. He scored 3 goals in, I think, 5 games. I think he was injured, not last game before, but he came back on Tuesday and had another good game.
Because he was playing for Newcastle last season, weren't he?
Yeah, it was a stroke of luck, I think, there. I think, it's not as it seems, if you like. I think our chairman or our CEO knew somebody at their end, and that transpired to do that type of thing. I think it wasn't, we'll have him, or I'll come to Mansfield or whatever. Because he is dropping down, but he wants to play. He was at Aberdeen, and I think he played 5 games for them. And I don't know how many times he was on the bench. It wasn't really happening. So things happened and transpired, and he really puts his shift in. Is one of the lads is knuckled down and is playing really well.
And John Joe O'Toole as well. He's been around for a bit. He's played quite a few games through this season as well. And
he's just come back from a 3-game ban against Newport. He got sent off, but he has got that mentality. He can be a bit of a hothead, but he's been absolute quality since he came for us because nobody wanted him. I think it was Stevenage that he was at training. He's been training with quite a few clubs. And Stevenage had got him, but apparently they couldn't afford him. They couldn't actually sign him on. So it was a free agent. And he came training with us, We gave him a short-term contract. And now we've given him a contract, probably 2.5 years, I think it is, because he's made the difference in defence. He's played really well.
You're breaking all our hearts here because you're talking about effective recruitment, and that's something that we've been absolutely going spare for the last 4 years. We've not been able to do it. Can you just, Dave, have you got the stats there for Mansfield? Just so we're not asking Alan to remember too much off the top of his head. But what's the results wise for the last 5 games, and where are they in the league at the minute?
The 10th.
And I can tell you, we're 10th in the league.
Yeah.
If we win our 2 games in hand on Exeter, we go second. It's as simple as that. That's how tight it is.
That's crazy, isn't it?
We're on 59 points, and we've got
won 3 in the last 5 and lost 2. So
yeah.
It
was the 2 that really, killed us off because we got that bit of a momentum.
You would have been right up there, wouldn't you, if you'd have won them 2?
I don't think we'd lost in 14 up until those 2 games.
Well, records are there to be broken, aren't they, Alan? So, records are there to be broken, hopefully, and we can...
Exactly. And I've noticed... It's going to be... It doesn't matter what you say, Dave, and I think you understand what I'm saying when I come in with the next bit I'm going to say. But it's going to be a really tough game on Saturday, irrespective whether you've lost the last 5 or, we've won on Tuesday. It's always a tough place to come, Boundary Park, and they've proved that in the past. And they'll be fighting. You can bet your bottom dollar they'll be fighting.
Well, they're going to need to fight a bit. They're going to need to fight a bit harder, I think, from off the current showing. And you travel well, don't you? Your fans, you've been traveling well this season, haven't you? How many do you think you'll bring up to Boundary Park this week?
Really well. Well, I don't know whether it's a sellout or not. I don't know. I think I did. I don't know. Was it 800 tickets we'd got or something like that? I'm not sure. But there'll be a healthy following. There were nearly 500 on Friday at Rochdale.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's good for a Tuesday. Yeah.
They travel. To be fair, they've always travelled, and they sing all the way through the match. That's same as Oldham, by the way. When they came to the One Call Stadium a couple of years ago when we beat you 6-1, and you had 2 men sent off.
Yeah,
can you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Your fans, all our fans applauded your fans at the end of the game because they just kept singing all the way through.
We've managed to develop quite a bit of a gallows humour, I think, over the years as it's slowly descended into this farce on the pitch, and results are just getting worse and worse and worse. And the tipping point for us this season before Sheridan came in was the Harrogate game, because it was the opposite of that away. We sold out at Harrogate, as you know, and it was very, very quiet. Nobody believed. With that belief had gone, it was so flat. You wouldn't have recognised the fans as from the same club. And then after that, we went on that run, and that run is really important, because all right, we've lost the last 5, but if we hadn't have gone on the run that Sheridan took us on initially, when we did have a full squad and Fondop, our striker, was fit, then we would have been gone with Scunthorpe by now. So we're still in with a fighting chance. We've got a prediction up here. I'll put it up so you can see it. Rob Walker there. He's predicted that you're going to win 4-0 on Saturday. So what do you think, Alan? I'm obviously expecting you to suggest that Mansfield will win.
A Mansfield fan, I hope he's right, but I was going to predict 3-0.
Right.
Because
Fair
they
enough.
are firing at the moment. No, but it could all change.
That's your appearance fee gone.
Yeah, right. How do we kick him out of here now? Yeah, but we're letting goals in, we're letting soft goals in, and we're struggling at the other end. So if you're looking at it from a purely objective point of view, chances are Mansfield are going to go away comfortably with the points. But what we need is a stroke of luck. We need one of your lads to do something reckless in the first 10 minutes and get himself sent off and that kind of thing,
Keeper,
not that we need a penalty, because we've missed the last 2. So it doesn't need to be a penalty, just a professional foul.
Scoring an own goal, and then the keeper punching someone for scoring the own goal, and then both of them going into a fight and then getting sent off. So we're down to 9 men.
We need something radical.
We might get a draw.
Yeah.
I was listening earlier on. You said about the players that you're out. Pierre Gianni, he's missing at the moment, is he?
No, he's
back.
He's
been a bit of a rock for your lads, hadn't he?
Yeah, he's back on Saturday.
Oh, he's back. Oh, well, there you go.
And you were looking at him in January as well, I believe. You were touting around, looking at him.
Yeah. Because Nigel's very shrewd, Mr. Clough. He's definitely switched on. Nigel is. He's very shrewd. In the transfer market, he got rid of a couple of players who were on big money and whatever, and he's whittled the squad down to a decent size. And when you look at the bench now, it's quality on the benches. You can pick any from that 18, to play in whichever way he decides to play. Whatever formation, he's got them really well gelled together. Nigel has.
Well, I hope they have an absolute shocker on Saturday. I hope it looks like it's the first time they've ever played together, and because we need it. And when was the last time you were up in League One? How long ago was that?
Well, with it was the old second division, as it was then.
Yeah,
that's it. And we were in there for one season. I think it was the 70s.
Right. So you'll be really.
We dropped out for the league altogether.
Yeah.
And then that was in 2009, I think it was, or 8 or 9. Yeah. We didn't come back till 12/13.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've just been up, down. We had a good session with Flitcroft, where we needed 1 point in the last 3 games, and we still couldn't do it.
Flipping heck.
And then we ended up losing in the playoff semi-final. So we do a good turn. To be fair, Dave.
Yeah, well, the thing is, maybe you'll be able to just give us a little insight of when you actually go down to the National League. What as a fan, what are the changes for you? What did you experience there? Because it's looking pretty ominous for us. Is it?
I don't think the qualities. There's not a big difference in between. In my opinion, it's only my humble opinion. Yeah. There's not a big difference in the football to League 2 and the conference, but you'll find out from the conference it's more of a hoofball, if you like, or it seems to be, because when we had Coxey, we had a certain way of playing. He got us up, and it wasn't tippy tappy football. It was, get it up there as quick as you can, and it worked. He knew the style of play we needed to get out of that league, and it seems to be a little bit like that. It's a bit hoofballish.
You got an Aston Martin for getting you up, didn't he, Paul Cox? Your owner gave him an Aston Martin, didn't he, as a bonus, I read.
No, it was, what happened was we were playing Barrow. If I get this right, I'm just trying to remember. We were playing Barrow, and he said something about, I think it was something like 5-1 at half-time or something like that. And he said, if you get 8, you can have my car or something like that. And we did. we scored either 7 or 8, whichever way round it was. And yes, he did. He honestly gave him his car. Yeah, he got the Aston Martin.
Yeah, flipping heck.
Brilliant.
Well, Alan, thank you so much for your time, mate. It's been a real pleasure having you. And if we see you at the game on Saturday, if you're coming up,
I can't get to, unfortunately, but my thoughts will be with you anyway.
Well, best case scenario for us is that we play you again next season. Obviously, you'll be hoping that you're up in League One, but I hope, really, really hope that we play you again next season, Alan, and maybe we can chat again then. Because if we don't, chances are it means that we've gone the wrong way. So 3-0, that's your prediction. So hope you're wrong. But we'll see. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough watch as always for us. So, but thanks for joining us. At the second half of the show, we'll focus on talking about the Latics. So thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, Alan.
Thank you very much for the invite, and may the best team win on Saturday.
Thank you, mate.
Take care. Good luck. Cheers.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
What do you reckon, Robin?
Dig at the end there.
Fancy supporting Mansfield instead of what? Sounds like a better setup, doesn't it?
Just a Premier League midfielder and quality throughout the bench and goals from all over the pitch. Otherwise, we're golden.
I know. When he was saying all that, it was a bit depressing, wasn't it? Really, to be fair, it was like that's definitely not what we've got now. And I think this is the thing. I mean, Mansfield, obviously not traditionally a powerhouse in football. Sutton, first ever season in the Football League. Harrogate come up, Crawley, Salford, teams like Fleetwood. There's football. Is about tradition and heritage and all that kind of stuff, but it means nothing. It's about momentum, and it's about the team. It's very much about the short term success of a manager coming in, or what an owner's done over maybe a 3, 4, 5 year period to turn stuff around. It's about recruitment, momentum, winning mentality, confidence, all the things that we don't have, and that's why, like, I voted about going down, and then. I am pretty pessimistic at the minute, because none of that momentum that we had was very, very. It was a blip. I was saying this to Paddy before, and it went on Twitter when he was saying we were going to stay up and cruising and all that. But we've been consistently one of the worst teams in the division, haven't we? We've I don't know if we've underperformed, because we've had 3 managers and we've still struggled with every one of them. Every head coach, no one's been able to get a turn out of them. Maybe Shezad when we had a full fit squad, but you don't have a full fit squad all season, do you? That's just not the way it goes. So, if we go down, it's because we deserve to go down. We've not had a good enough squad. We've not had a good enough team. And we just have to accept it. We just have to accept that we're the first Premier League team to go from the Premier League to non-league. And it's heartbreaking, and it's going to be really tough pill to swallow, but we can have no complaints we have lots of complaints, clearly and obviously, but from a footballing point of view, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we can't complain. It's just because we're just not good enough.
I think just listening to Alan there talking about Mansfield, Mansfield are not traditionally, you don't think of them as a big hitter in the league, but just well organised, a good manager. Obviously, their owner's got connections, and he can get a player from Aberdeen and a Premier League player just through his connections, and that's basically what we're missing. We just don't have that. It's from the top. We just don't have that at all, and it's been patently obvious all season. The very fact we've been struggling to get a striker, and we end up getting one who's basically crocked anyway. Yeah. It's I don't want to. You can't really blame everything on that, but you can see that line all the way through for the whole season that we've and now with the suspensions coming in that have just crippled us. Pidge coming back is going to make a big difference, I hope, but we're going to miss Hart as well, because Benny Couto just looked like a shadow of the player he's been on
Wednesday, on
Tuesday.
But he'd been left out of the squad. Yeah. He should have been getting. I mean, there's things that are making us kind of wonder: is this a Shez decision? Is it because they're effectively sold and they don't want to risk playing them because they'll lose money or whatever? But surely Couto, once he'd started to get a run in the team, should have been kept involved rather than just sitting on the bench for however many weeks. Like you said, then he comes in and he's rusty. It doesn't really make any sense, does it?
But to be honest, he didn't. I mean, from watching it on the iFollow, he never left his half in the first half. He never actually went into their half. He never got a single throw in to take. So he was, and it looked like he was on orders to stay back. But it's such a waste of his talent because he's not the best defender. He needs to learn a little bit from that. But going forward, he's a threat. And obviously, and if he's been told you've got to stay back, then you're making him do the worst part of his game and not. The team selection was a bit odd for Tuesday for me. I couldn't understand. I know the defense was just what he could put together because of the suspensions, but Nicky, I would have had Nicky Adams ahead of Couto just to give him that experience to help him there. But it just it was so unbalanced and as you say, there were no leaders there in the middle of throughout the pitch. Really, I think Sutton was probably our standout player in a 3-1 loss.
Yeah, let's bring Gaz in to have a chat now. He's been waiting patiently in the background. See what he's got to think. I don't know if he wants to put his camera on or not, but how are you doing, Gaz? Can you hear us?
Sound check.
Yeah, 1, 2, testing.
Testing.
Can you hear us, yeah.
How are you doing? What do you think of what you've heard so far, mate?
Because I've got little in next to me.
No, you're all right. All right.
Think of what, mate? What did you say? Sorry.
What do you think of what you've been listening to conversation so far in terms of Mansfield and what we were talking about with the Sutton game?
My first memories of Mansfield was beating them 6-1 in the Dowie season.
Right.
Where Andrews came on. No, it weren't an hat-trick from Andrews. It was a Wynard hat-trick, and Andrews came on and scored a penalty. So I never thought I'd be jealous of Mansfield, but I am now.
Yeah, well, there's like 70 clubs in the Football League above us that are,
And the manager for Mansfield that day was?
I don't know, but I remember Wayne Corden playing for
Keith Curl was the manager.
Curl, was it?
Yeah.
Was he player manager? Because he got sent off against us. Anyway,
he handballed it. I think he handballed. He got sent off in the away game, but yeah, they did go down to 10 men in that game because he handballed it on the line. So it was a 6-1 win. Yeah, but Keith Curl was the manager. Yeah.
I remember the away game was Fitzall scored a penalty like last few minutes, and we were down to 10 men. I think Ayresy got sent off with Keith Curl. Someone will correct that in the chat, but it's not right, I'm sure. But yeah, sad state of affairs, isn't it? When Oldham Athletic
it's grim, isn't it? I mean, we just had this from Martin for you there, Gaz. Come on, raise the mood because he's ready for.
Yeah, no, he's right. He's right actually. I said this after the game on Saturday and Tuesday. I don't care how good your squad is. If you're playing a game without 3 of your back 4 and your best centre midfielder, you're up against it. So as poor as the squad recruitment has been, and it's been dreadful, we were always going to struggle on Tuesday. Again,
yeah, but when you look at the fixtures that we've got coming up, all the teams that are better than us, aren't they? So we're going to struggle in all of them, aren't we?
Yeah,
regardless.
I think towards the end of the season, I kind of think that goes out the window, Matt, because teams who are fighting for their life, when you play someone who's mid-table, then mid-table teams tend to not pick up so many results because they're already on the beach. So in them last 9-10 games, I think it doesn't matter anyway. We're up against it, aren't we?
Well, which teams are we playing that are going for promotion? We've got Forest Green, haven't we? We've got Tranmere.
Forest Green, Tranmere,
Port Vale,
Northampton. Salford might have a little pushed, but I think they might be out of it. Leighton Orient are out of it, aren't they? They've had 2 wins now, and Wellings has got them playing. He might do Shez a favour, but
so we're playing plenty of teams that have got a lot to play for in terms of promotion. So that doesn't bode well. And
yeah, well, I probably didn't word it very well. I think what I'm trying to say is, I think in the last 10 games, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? Things happen at the end of the season that you don't expect to happen. Teams stay up who could be dead and buried. Teams fall off who you think are up there. It's happened to us in the past when we've been up there, hasn't it?
Did you say Junior's back for Saturday, or is he definitely back, or is he?
He's definitely back. There was no chance for him on Tuesday, but Shez wanted him to have. He started training on Monday, and he wanted him to have 4 days training before Saturday. But he said he will be involved. Whether he starts, I'm not sure, but I don't think he's really got much of a choice. Shez also said the pressure on that young lad for 18 years old is concerning Shez, But he said at this point he's not got much option but to play him. So,
but when you're 18, I mean, if you're not full of beans at 18 and cocky as anything at 18, I'm not into this. I don't agree with Shez on this front. I mean, obviously, if you had like an experienced, centre forward and you'd pick your established players over your younger players, but we've got to work with what we've got here. And
what age is Will Sutton?
He's not. He's
19.
Yeah, he's not. He's
the pressure's on a defender rather than an attacker because you don't score. There's another 9 players don't score, but your defenders have got to do the best. I thought Will Sutton's been great.
Do you think that those lads? Do you think that those lads are sitting there thinking, "Oh, I'm under loads of pressure," or do you think they're sitting in the changing room buzzing their tits off because they're getting to go out and play first team football? Because they're buzzing, aren't they?
I don't know. Shez is of the old school mindset. I think Tommy Wright is, isn't he? It's the relegation environment. I think he's concerned that the players are in. It's not whether they're playing football. It can proper damage somebody's confidence.
Yeah, it can.
I don't want to think
the main argument Harry Vaughan and Benny Couto, isn't it? But the way we set up, Vaughan in particular, it's not going to suit him. I mean, why have Vaughan on the pitch for 90 minutes, sitting behind the ball, chasing men who were older men who were knocking 1-2s around him? Because that's all we're doing, aren't we?
Well, should we not start with Luamba and Vaughan as 9 and 10 then on Saturday and just do something completely different?
Be very brave, wouldn't it? Be very brave.
I mean, we need to do. I mean, Shez obviously knows a lot better than I do, and I'm not suggesting I know anywhere near as much. But what's happening isn't working, is it? And we have limited options, we've lost 5 games. Like I think if Sai, I think it was. Can we discuss Stobbs? Not in length because there's not really much to talk about. But if he's persisting with playing Stobbs out, who has very very minimal effect on the game. Like we've looked tired, haven't we? We've not looked like we've got the legs. Stick the young Vaughan. He's going to run. Now, if he doesn't last 90 minutes, he doesn't last 90 minutes. But I'd rather let him give some of these kids a chance to settle into a game rather than bringing them on for the last 20 minutes to say, there you go and affect the game when they're already the 2-0 down. We were 2-0 down, weren't we, when the substitutions were made? In fact, he waited, didn't he? I would have made the substitutions at 2-0 down, but,
the game was gone Tuesday, though. It was gone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gone the game Tuesday. I think if you wind back a few games up, thinking of the Swindon game, the Carlisle game, we missed a penalty and we lost both with the last kick of the game, pretty much, didn't we? So it's the marginal defeats that that could have been draws. But then when you start to lose players through injury and suspension, that's when it's really, really gone wrong. So if we could get people back, there was something there. All right, it's a new manager bounce, but we did have a settled team. We was looking solid. I don't think we're very difficult to defend against, even in those games where we're winning. We're quite easy to play against, aren't they, when we've got the ball? But there was something. So it can be done. And as down as we all feel at the moment, there's still hope. It's not done. And if we give up, then we give up.
No, I agree. I agree. Made the point a few times that when Shez came in, we had a full squad to choose from, and it made all the difference. Now, obviously, the depth of the squad and the fragility of it has been our downfall, not just at this stage in the season, but all season. So that is ultimately the issue. If we stay up, I'll be delighted at this stage now if we can get to the Crawley game and need a win on the last game of the season at this stage. Because at this stage, my biggest fear is getting relegated at Tranmere. That's by far the biggest fear.
The point away at Crawley was a great result.
The point away at Crawley?
Yeah, it was,
yeah. They looked a decent side. And who else did we get a point against a few days before? Was that the Newport one or the Colchester one?
Newport, yeah.
Newport.
No, Colchester. Colchester.
See, on reflection, after the Colchester game, we were gutted, weren't we? Because we felt like we'd kind of thrown it away.
I went to Colchester in the second half. I thought we were lucky to win. We were lucky to get a point.
Yeah. But we went into that game expecting to win, didn't we? Because we were on a high.
But I mean, we can trace it back, can't we, to games this season? I don't have the best memory for going back and remembering stuff, but the obvious ones are games like Barrow, which we're 0-0 and we're there for the taking, and just playing for a 0-0. There's points, isn't there, that you can say and like you just said there about Carlisle and Swindon. If we'd have hung on and had those 2 extra points on the board, we'd just be 1 point behind Stevenage now rather than the 3 points. And it's all fine margins. At the end of the day, we are in with a chance, and until it's mathematically impossible, we have to keep on believing that we're going to stay up. But we at the same time, and like in response to what Martin was saying, it's of course like it's depressing, but we do have to be thinking about next season, don't we? There is, in terms of planning and what's going to happen, and obviously there's issues with who's going to own the club or not, and all that kind of stuff. And obviously we talk about that on the podcast rather than on here. But we've got an eye on what's going to happen next season. Taking it, like I said before, 1 game at a time. If you're as good as your last game, we're as good as down. So we need, for everybody, in terms of giving us that, we need something from the team on Saturday, don't we? Really, I mean, points aren't going to be enough at this stage of the season. We need a win, but I think
would you take a point after 5 defeats?
Well, I'd rather not lose.
Yeah.
Do you see that as maybe I don't want to say something against Shez, but a flaw in Shez? Because what you were saying is we need something on Saturday. We need a performance, not just a win. We need something different. And do you think Shez is prepared to do that? He's prepared to just, let's try something completely radical and different? Or is he just going to say, no, I'm going to wait. I'm getting players back from suspension. I'm getting players back from injuries. I'm just going to gently move them in. Because talking to a few people on Twitter, one of the things they need is we need to get out of this rut, this losing streak. And is that maybe a completely overhaul of the team, even with the players we've got, and just try something different? Like you say, Junior and Vaughan up front, maybe. Do you think Shez is capable of doing that, or is he just going to stick with his plan? And
I think that's dangerous.
He's either wrong or very wrong, isn't he? Because if he changes it, you'll go, why have you done that? We've just lost 5 games. You put a completely different team out. They don't know the shape. They've had a week. 3 days to prepare from a Tuesday night game. What's going on? Then if he doesn't, then it's going to be, why don't you completely overhaul the team, Shez? We've had 3 days to completely change it. And that's it. And that's why he's got probably one of the, I said best jobs, but he's football manager. Everyone aspires to be a football player or a football manager, don't they? And that's why he's got. But
do we have to do that? Do we have to do that much? Like the back 4 virtually picks itself.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got Clark's back. Yeah. So he plays right back. We've got Pidge's back and Sutton. They pick themselves centre half. Left back, you could probably say Couto, right? Just say that for example. I know he's not the best defender, but just bear with me. Bahambula back on the bench, waste of space, no point. Maybe bring him on later on in the game as an impact sub. So Nicky Adams out on the right. Misselou's missing, so Whelan plays, and Whelan and Hunt probably play central midfield, right? Why not stick Keeler Dunn? I know he's not a winger, but you might as well play him out on the left as play Stobbs out on the left, and then Vaughan and Luamba up top.
I put Vaughan on the left, and put
Keeler Dunn. Yeah. Well, we could even maybe switch him around, see how it goes. But those 11 players on the pitch, I don't think that's too radical. I don't think anyone's going to be too upset if you've dropped Bahambula, you've dropped Stobbs, because they've done nothing in the last couple of games.
Do you know wherein lies your problem? Your problem is Whelan and Hunt in midfield are too lightweight and too similar.
Powder puff.
But who? I agree.
Offers absolutely nothing at all.
I agree, but
down the middle,
who else comes in?
Short.
But who else comes into centre mid without missing?
You've like you said before, Andy. You've got 3 days to radically overhaul it. It's not enough time, is it?
It's not just that. We don't have the players, do we? We don't have the squad. It's not about that. It's not the options.
I called for a few weeks ago when I was wrong moving Adams into the middle because I felt we needed some experience in there. But he's our only source of creativity when he gets half a yard of space out on the wings. But in all honesty, the goals are coming from set pieces mainly, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I genuinely thought Adams might have been our answer to not.
I think that's a really good idea.
Just in the experience in the middle, but then who goes out wide? We're just short, aren't we? But for me, Whelan and Hunt, and then if you're playing Vaughan in front of him in Luamba, we're just going to get old man right down the middle. Sutton, Hunt, Whelan, and Vaughan as your spine. It's in a relegation dogfight. Logic tells you that's not going to do anything. However, you never know. We might do it and win 5-0.
We're going over all this. Like, I remember last season, like screaming for the season before. I can't even remember now. They all blur into one, but I think it was last season about the same thing with Adams for centre mid because we didn't have an experienced head in the centre of midfield. And but
definitely.
you know, Bahambula should be playing down the right hand side, but he's just not putting up.
He's shot.
In,
he's
absolutely
just, shot. He's shot of confidence, Bahambula. He's a player. He's got talent. He's application, but he's absolutely shot of confidence. First 6-7 minutes at Swindon, he was our best player. He was causing them problems, but then as a team, we just sat off, and then he was trying to do everything from his own half. Then, whereas if you go back and watch that first 10 against Swindon, we're high up the pitch. And he did get us up there, and even in the second half. But he's absolutely shot. Everything he's trying is not coming off. He's kicking the floor. He's falling over. It's just not working for him. But there's a player in there.
Well, when we've been at our best this season, we've been playing much higher up the pitch, haven't we? We have been pressing and we've been playing in their half. And when we've been at our worst, we've just been doing the opposite, just sitting back and not having that outlet. Not being able to get the ball
pace to get out, have we?
No, exactly. So we can't do that kind of like sucking in and absorbing the play and then hitting on the break because we don't have that type of player or those type of players, and we can't do the hit the ball long, hold it up, and join them. That's been the problem. We don't have a plan A, we don't have a plan B at the, and obviously when we're fully fit and we've got a full squad, we were having that. The team were able to press higher up the pitch, and it was working. Like And the back line were pushing up higher. Yeah, we might get caught out the back because we don't have much pace, but there's no perfect solution. We're patching it up, aren't we, all the time?
Can I just step in Dylan Bahambula's defence? And I don't know if it's just watching it from iFollow or just watching it on the TV that I see. Without a striker up front or without anyone up front to take any pressure off him, he's surrounded all the time. Everyone's identified him. He's always got three players on him. And there's without anyone up front to give him an option. He has to take on 3-4 players every time because they surround him, and sometimes he gets through. Honestly, if you watch the iFollow, you can probably get about 5 minutes worth of skill out of Bahambula, but he can only take on so many. Now I know his head drops sometimes as well, and I'm not naive enough to just say it's not his fault, but he needs that. If Junior's back on the pitch and he's offering something up front, that it's going to take the midfield and the defence a little bit off Dylan, and he's going to have the chance to actually run at one player instead of three. But I mean, he gets an awful bad rap for having to try and beat 3 or 4 players every time, and they do swarm around him when he gets the ball.
I think it's fair. I think you're right to point that out, and hopefully Junior coming back and staying fit is going to be something that gives us that little bit of hope, because he's not had a great fitness record, has he? No. That's a big worry. I mean, for him as personally, we want him to be fit. We want him to be playing football. We don't want to see anyone injured and not doing what they're paid to do. But we need him, and we need him to play like he did against Bristol and Bradford, don't we? Because he made a massive difference.
Do you think it's worth the risk for playing this weekend and maybe give him an extra week to give him till the Tuesday to recover?
I'd rather have him at Stevenage.
Yeah. Well, he scored against Scunthorpe. He scored against Sutton when we were down there rocking. Yeah. Is he gonna start banging him in again? Because I said, we were texting the other night after the game, and I said, don't worry. I think Junior's going to be the answer, isn't he? You know what I mean? And you completely. He absolutely. He just said. I can't repeat what Matt said because we can't use foul language. But I don't think he was too impressed with me late night ramblings.
I think his performances, like I said earlier, when he came back, were brilliant. But like to have one striker to be relying on one striker is just ridiculous. It's and. Yeah, I think you make good points there, Robin, about like maybe it will help Bahambula. And look, at the end of the day, I hope they all come out on Saturday and they all play like, megastars. I really do. I really, really hope they do. And I hope you're saying, guys, about waiting until Stevenage. But we could be. Is it a full fixture list on Tuesday, or is it a rearranged? What happens on Tuesday? Do we? Because aren't we a level now with Stevenage, aren't we? We don't have any games in hand on them. So is it feasible that they'll go into the game with a game in hand on us?
Potentially, because haven't they still got the COVID problem at Stevenage? Or are they back playing again?
COVID problem. Because we need points on the board before that game, don't we? Really, because if we end up losing to Stevenage, then depending on what our results are, I don't think we can be looking. I mean, I get what you mean, Gaz, but I don't think we can afford to be looking like missing out games, can we?
Don't misconstrue what I've said. What I'm saying, if he had to be available for the two, then Stevenage would be my pick. But in the sense that obviously if he's fit and ready Saturday, he has to play. If he's fit and ready, it's not a risk, is it? No. The only risk is we know his injury record. But
and then Tuesday and all, that's the thing.
Yeah, well, he'll probably play one and miss one, won't he? If he's had so much time out. But if Luamba's fit and causing problems, then it takes the pressure off Bahambula, and the opposition won't be able to put as many men on Bahambula, which creates more space on the pitch. That was the same at Newport. That game was wide open.
And Bristol as well.
The game was wide open, because they couldn't just... As poor as Bahambula's been at the moment, he's the only player the opposition are going to have to be slightly worried about individually. So if there's someone else on they might be about, i.e. Luamba, it will create more space and opportunities for others. We'll just have to see, won't we? I think the only thing we have to do is just keep at it. I mean, the Atleticos are leading by example, aren't they? We just got to dust ourselves off, have a shower, and go again tomorrow. That's what we've got to do till it's done. It's not done, is it?
Well, just had a look then, and it was Stevenage don't play Tuesday, so after this weekend, well, I don't know if are they playing this weekend, Dave?
I'm just checking now. I haven't spare me 1 second.
So we need the points. The priority is we need the points on the board. Simple as that. Somebody said on Twitter recently, we were talking about, they said that they'd rather be in our position than Stevenage's when we had the 2 games in hand, and I was like, no, definitely not. And well, here we are. So
Stevenage play next to at the moment.
Yeah, so it's not postponed. So
I hope they get battered.
Yeah, we could do with. Well, that's what we need, isn't it? We need them to get beat on Saturday. We need to not get beat in these next 2 games at the very least. I mean,
you take 2 points for the next 2 games.
Well, if they lose on Saturday and we get 2 points, then we're going into that game with just a point difference, aren't we? So
played the same games then by that next Saturday as well, or
we'll have played a game in hand. They'll have a game in hand on us. Sorry, then by then I think.
Let's have a look. Bear with us.
So it's all. This is the thing. If we win our games, then we don't have to worry about what everybody else does so much, do we? But we have to win them, and there's not much.
Not looking likely at the moment.
No, there'll be level games, level on games.
Well, we both played 37, so once we played at the weekend, we'll have played 38, and then we're playing again. So, so they'll have a game in hand on us then. So we've gone from having 2 games.
Have you not got to rearrange that fixture though? Have they not got to rearrange that game they missed on Saturday?
Yeah, it'll be towards the end of the season, so they'll have a game in hand on us when we come to play them.
Yeah.
Are you going to Stevenage?
I am. Yeah.
I'm on holiday in Great Yarmouth, but it's only 2 hours away. So
you're going then?
Yeah. If there's any Great Yarmouth Oldham fans who fancy giving me a lift there and back so I can have a drink, it'd be greatly appreciated. So
I reckon we'll take a massive following if we're within still a decent distance, a point or either way. I think there'll be a big following down at Stevenage.
Yeah. I think they will. Yeah, they're massively important games now, aren't they? And then it's so tough. I mean, week after that we've got Vale away.
I think there'll be a big following at Vale. Vale's a great away day down on the train day in Manchester.
Yeah, should be good. Yeah. So we just need to be in touch, don't we?
I think it sounds. My wife's going to kill me, but I think I am going to try and go to every single game now until the end of the season. So
breathe that football league air in while you can, Dave.
That's it, really. Yeah. Why not? Divorce on the cards, but never mind.
Lads, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. I don't know how much you've thought about it or how much you allow yourself to think about it, but isn't it a weird feeling to think about next season being in the National League? Like, do you think about how you're going to cope with it? Do you think about how it'll feel, or are you just like putting the blinkers up, thinking I can't go there?
I can't.
Yeah, I'll lose all access to it because they don't do iFollow in the lower league, so I just won't get to watch any of it.
For you, is it? No,
it's absolutely
just on that. Who's due to get promoted from National League North and National League South?
Gateshead for the National League North. I think it's bear with me. I think it's Dorking, someone like that. Let me just have a double check. One second.
Massive.
Big, yeah.
It's going to be like...
Oh, no, Maidstone or Dorking. It's between them two big teams.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's going to be like going... I mean, so coming to Boundary Park, if that's what happens, is going to be buzzing for some of these teams, isn't it? But look, I mean, we're not there yet.
And
we're
also,
not
it's
yet.
Saturday, Tuesday in that league as well. Saturday, Tuesday. And we'll have the likes of Boreham Wood, Bromley, Torquay, Southend, Yeovil, Woking, Wealdstone, Maidenhead, Eastleigh, Aldershot, Weymouth.
It's a very southern league, then, isn't it?
It is a lot of southern.
But we'll have Wrexham, Halifax, Chesterfield, Notts County, Solihull, Motors, Grimsby. It's pretty balanced, yeah. Altrincham.
Can we just? We're going to end the program. The program, is it a program?
I
don't know how you describe it.
Show.
Whatever it is.
It's a show.
The broadcast, right? We're going to end
show.
the broadcast in a minute. But lads, if you're listening, if there's any Latics players remotely interested in what us fans have to think, then you just heard what please, please. We really, really, really don't want that, do we? I mean, this is a famous old football club. Keep us in the Football League, please. We'll chip in. We'll take you out. I
tell you what, if they keep us up, I will take the team for pints on my wallet. And honestly, I will. I'll take you all for a pint.
A pint.
A pint between you. No, I'll take you out for pints.
We'll have a whip round.
I'll put somebody behind the bar and I'll take you all out.
Yeah.
And if you send us down, I'll take you all out with a rifle
from the rifle range.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Please, lads, we need it. But look, lads, have you got anything upbeat to end on? A rallying call? Anything that you want to say?
Total radical change of the team on Saturday. Clark, Will Sutton at centre half, Pidge up front. He's going to be the new Ian Marshall.
Ooh, there we go.
Interesting.
I certainly wouldn't go against that towards the end of the game if it were tight and we needed
the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. That might be an option, but depends on. I mean, like leaking goals like the other night, then we need him at the back. But look, who knows? It's all speculation. We'll debrief it on the pod on Monday, and then next Thursday night again on the football phone-in. We'll be able to talk about what was. We'll have played 2 games by then. So God only knows where we'll be, but we'll
Gaz, have you got anything to say before we go, mate?
Come on, Oldham. Come on. No. It's one of them, innit? I think the logic tells you it's going to be difficult, but football throws that out the window all the time, and Oldham especially. So we can do it, can't we?
We can do it.
We can.
Right, let's see all at Boundary Park on Saturday, and may the force be with us.
Yeah, sweet.
See you. Take care.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.
All the best.
See you now. The Latics Football Phone-In is hosted by Matt Dean and David Bradley and is live on YouTube Fridays from 7 till 8. Don't miss the Boundary Park Alert System Oldham Athletics only weekly podcast out Mondays at 7 a.m. in all the usual places. Please subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/the Boundary Park Alert System, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at OAFC Phone-In and at OAFC Podcast. The music you're hearing is Under Pressure by Anton Vaslov. Thanks for watching and see you next week.